Over and over I'd heard it said to my pregnant friends that the last week of their pregnancy would be the longest week of their lives. But they were wrong. The last week of my pregnancy and even the last month of my pregnancy were nothing compared to the 5 years of waiting through infertility. Infertility is full of waiting. Waiting for your cycle, waiting for appointments, waiting for tests, waiting for test results. But the very longest was once we actually had a positive pregnancy test, waiting for that first ultrasound. The days ticked by while we waited to find out if our positive test really meant that we were pregnant. Our infertility was unexplained infertility. Every single test we ever took came back positive with flying colors except pregnancy tests. They came back negative over and over and over. We started with just some assisted cycles using medications to help me ovulate. Then we did IUI, and then we went for IVF. We did 2 rounds of IVF, starting with 7 fertile embryos. We lost the first 2 in 1 round, and then our second 2 stuck. In the meantime, we also became foster parents because we were excited to be parents and we were looking for how to do that. And the month before our final IVF cycle, the adoption of our 3 foster kids went through. So we adopted our kids in February, and in December we had twins. Infertility is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever experienced. It's heartbreaking. Every month you wonder, is this the month? Are our lives going to change? You try to make plans for your future, but you just don't know what's going to happen. My husband and I saw Dr. Nichols at PREG in Greenville, South Carolina for our infertility. It was actually kind of funny. We saw him for about 1.5 years or 2 years. We took some breaks because it's really hard physically, it's hard emotionally, it's hard financially to go through this process. And so it was kind of a long journey of off and on, and what could I take emotionally? But PREG was very supportive, and when we finally did get our positive pregnancy test and we had our first ultrasound and they passed us off to our OBGYN, it was actually a little bit sad because OBGYNs see pregnancy every day. It's totally commonplace, but at PREG it was this huge celebration when our pregnancy finally stuck. So it was a little bit difficult going from this super positive environment at PREG to just our regular OBGYN. Let's see. February 6th, we had a consult with the doctor. Oh, contraction. February 6th, we had a consult, and then on February 12th, we had court. And that was the big surprise court day where our adoption was granted. And then on February 17th, we had our second consult. Right? Yeah. So within like a 2-week period, we were getting ready for our next round of IVF, and our adoption went through, and then starting medications for the second round. And those 2 embryos that are now babies were put in on April 3rd. So here we are. It's been a long journey getting to this place where we're driving to the hospital for these babies. I am so grateful for the advancements in medicine that we have today, that we can have our twin girls, and that I was able to carry those girls even though it wasn't something that my body was able to naturally do. I'm grateful that, as we say, when we were leaving the hospital with our girls, I joked to my husband, well, now we know all about how babies are made. Doctors put them in, and doctors take them out. Our girls were born at 38 weeks via C-section. They were 6 pounds 8 ounces and 7 pounds 2 ounces. So they were huge and healthy and awesome little girls.